I assume Pale Driver's still around here, because I don't see a reason as to why she would have left. We can check the cabin actually, because we didn't do it with Kitsuragi.
The smell of there's something odd about
Posters.
There's definitely
Nothing
remnants of
Wonder.
it. The actress.
Centerfold.
Wait, this she wasted away in a drug den.
No.
The actresses looks like
Radio.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least.
It has to be an advanced model to fit so many frequencies next to each other without blending them together.
What about Speed Freaks FM? Is it one of the save stations here?
No, that's on 78.9.
He stops, coughing awkwardly. Raise your eyebrows.
What? I happen to have committed the frequency to memory. I have no problem admitting that.
We already know he's got it saved. Why would anyone need so many radio stations?
For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This is all shortwave, UW and UKV. Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation, with quite a range too.
A 20-kilometer radius at least. Perhaps extended by an attachable antenna that's not here right now.
Is there anything we can do with the radio?
Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without the dial key.
Alright.
The ghostly actress.
What else? Cover.
Bonne prise.
The lieutenant commends you as you shift through the treasures, all 1 foot into neat squares. Open the topmost map.
This large toll booth. There. Hundreds.
Yeah. Where does
to
it lead?
Through this
Second map.
Wind.
Yep.
Wind. The
Third
final map. These looks like the smugglers have infiltrated.
So
East
it would
motor
seem.
tracts. He examines the maps with a furrowed
The
brow.
RCM patrols most of these auxiliary roads, though apparently not all of them.
Where does the contraband end up?
Hard to say. This distribution network looks certainly large, yet still vague enough. It doesn't reveal much about the Besmerti behind it.
Besmerti? That sounds vaguely familiar.
The Besmerti is a Revacholian crime syndicate. They see themselves as the inheritors of the 14 Revacholian Indo-tribes, but really they're just violent gangs vying for control on the west side of Revachol. With cool names like La Puta Madre and Aura Masta. It's a dark parody.
Who do you think is behind this?
It's definitely not the Union. They just do some logistics. This operation has spread everywhere in Jamrock. If it's that widespread, then Madre remains the most likely suspect.
So the Union is a small part of a crime syndicate. So Evrart is using connections from the syndicate to know more about Martinez. And then, I imagine, scratches their back in turn.
Here's bad news. There have been attempts at a serious investigation before, but they haven't ended well for those involved.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is a brave man for saying Madre's name without the winces and whispers that usually accompany it. Especially bad news for cops who may have something in their past they don't even know is there.
Return the stack of
Best not
papers.
to disturb the scene. I'll have forensics go over the lorry and pick these up later.
Good idea, Kitsuragi.
The stack of maps looks just like
Toolbox,
a metallic
newspaper,
issue of Petty
Peripherique.
It looks like an article ripped out. These formulas look oddly.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
His thought trails off.
It's an issue. It looks
So
like
same
these
thing. Yep.
The Ulan frequency...
Okay. So it was worth checking the lorry, even though really nothing else was different, just because we had Kitsuragi with us. Alright, and then what's this? Oh. Speed bottle! Wow. How many speed bottles did we get? 10 uses. Whew. Alright, that is a lot. Okay. Make a save. And we'll talk to Pale Driver.
The woman is still hunched over the railing.
Huh? What is it? What do you want?
I think I know what's going on with you.
And what is that?
He sticks a filterless cigarette into a cigarette holder and reaches for the light. You're a Pale Driver. You transport goods through the Pale.
Great. He asked the Pines rep about the Pale, and now he's talking to everyone about it.
Yeah, why not?
Fine then. Just try not to black out again, and don't contemplate. We don't have time for that.
It's death, but for the universe, oh, we're contemplating the living shit out of this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm contemplating, Kim. I'm drawing existential conclusions from this. Yeah, no, it's just for detective work, that's all I need it for. Everything is related to the Pale, my condition, the case, everything, it's all entropinetic. Oh, I'm contemplating, Kim.
Exactly what I didn't want you to do. Ma'am, my partner wanted to know if you work in Pale Transport.
No offense. But your partner?
He lights the cigarette, a white and silver cloud of smoke disappears into her mouth.
Seems like a bit of an idiot.
He breathes out, the air tastes sweet. He's got a point.
Republica, a filterless cigarette from Misk.
Republica, smell the air, that's not very healthy. I blacked out after a night of heavy drinking and lost my memory of the world. I blacked out from sheer heartbreak and lost all memory of the world. I'm not an idiot, I'm a detective of the RCM, don't say I'm an idiot. Republica, that's not very healthy.
Neither is spelled transportation. Life is transitory.
Alright, I blacked out after a night of heavy drinking and lost all my memory.
Like Gabriel Buenguerro in Pergunte a Poeira. You're the opposite of me, then. I remember everything. Even things I never knew.
That means that you're not remembering them. Things you never knew?
The smell of liquor on Gabriel's lips after the shoot. In the motor park. The roses on the day of Franco Negro's coronation. On the grand stairs of Ryle. The smoke from the Fowling Piece when Dolores Day was shot. The look on her face, like an orgasm. The wound in her chest. My hand in my father's hand. Except I never had a father. And I never shot her innocent as Dolores Day.
Over-radiation, isn't that dangerous? Over-radiation?
Heroic doses, Herifia. Heroic.
Isn't that dangerous?
Thought insertion? Dithering? The Grad Catalan Magistral? It's more than dangerous. It's sad. But at first I had to make a living. Now, when you've seen it all go away like that, rolling off like the sea, and then come back to this...
He gestures at the square, the broken horse monument, the clang of machines in the distance. Yeah, when you've seen the inverse of everything, coming back to reality is kind of like, well, what's the point?
What are we doing here? For thousands of years, Gabriel. It doesn't have to be like this. We can just give up. We can just become a vapor.
What does it look like? The Pale? What does it feel like? How do you pass through it? One last thing, you said we can just become a vapor. What does it look like?
Like looking into the ocean at night, in the dark.
And?
You cannot see it, but you know it's there. And it's big, bigger than anything. Bigger than all the other things combined.
What does it feel like?
Nothing. Until it starts. When you are deep enough. Then, for me, it's like autumn. Dark, grey and orange. The orange of street lights and the color of streets and electric light. It smells like autumn too. It smells terrible.
So the Pale is different for everyone who experiences it. For her, it's autumn. How do you pass through it?
In the belly of an airship, behind the steel windows. So you don't look straight into it. It's not advised to look into it.
What happens if you look into it? Not on this lorry then?
No, the same one, a roller. They all are nowadays. Special wheels for connecting to the floor of the hold.
He points to the machines clumped up like
The
toys.
wheels all small and round, multi-axle trailers.
One last thing, you said we can just become vapor?
Yes.
No elaboration.
I would rather have what I have than what you have. I'd rather have what you have than what I have. I feel I already have what you have in some way. I guess the manifestation of the Pale could be losing your memory. But that wouldn't explain how you have experienced the Pale in Martinez. I feel I already have what you have in some way.
They say there is a point. One that I have not crossed. In the Pale, super deep. If you stray too far, of course, on the U41A, or in Lomonosov's land, where every step you take is one step further from home, no matter the direction. It's a point you cannot come back from. Your mind becomes so radiant with the past, there is a flip. Instead of writing, it erases memory, nearing some kind of indescribable finale.
That's an interesting concept. Yeah. There is a point of no return. And yeah, like it says, instead of writing, it erases memory.
Maybe you've been down the motorway south.
She looks at her cigarettes, it's almost out. She has swallowed it hungrily, then at you. The motorway south?
It's a story as lone horsemen tell. Lone horsemen, Sheriff, not pale drivers. Way beyond the established pale that's lit by radio frequencies, where it goes silent.
So her name should update to Long's Hole man, woman, whatever it is.
And dark, and the process begins. Erasure, kilometer by kilometer, in any direction. The motorway south is a road you cannot come back from.
What is at the end of the motorway south?
No one knows what's at the end. I've only glimpsed the beginning. I've only felt it in the distance, when I was a child. A child rowing on the lake.
Ma'am?
Josiane.
A sigh escapes her lips, then silence as she stares within herself.
She is receding in the clutches of some indescribable scattered emotion. A child descending.
You've fried both your brains enough for today, detective.
He inspects her, no response.
Let's get some air. This one's far gone.
He shakes his head silently as he turns to leave. We gained a thought. The thought is motorway south. So, motorway south is... -1 visual calculus. It takes 8 hours to internalize. At the edge of the map, the landmass begins to disintegrate into pure trigonometry. The ocean melts, becoming a tangle of sines and cosines. The mountain range turns into a sharp-angled azimuth. Its green rain shadow dithers, like music turning into a waveform, and then vanishes. This is the end. A half-remembered textbook from your childhood. The porch collapsing on the edge of the Isola. Transition from reality to pale. A single vector shoots out like a rocket. It's the motorway south, splintering off from the known pale. To where? Where does it go? I think that's probably going to be a good thought to internalize, at least just to see what the benefit is from like internalizing it is. So I'm going to save, make a save, and I'm going to choose a thought to get rid of. Which thought it is, I don't know yet. I guess I'll make my mind up now. So, empathy and esprit de corps. Learning cap speed gives 1 psyche. I do want to keep that one. Mazovian socioeconomics. I've not seen the left-wing dialogue give XP, but I'm not sure if that's just an invisible addition or if it's something that is actually making a difference. And like every single time I get the conceptualization check, I see the plus 10 XP. I don't know whether this has actually made a difference. This one, again, learning caps raised to 3. I'm not sure on. I'll keep this on for now, just because money is a bit tight, but I do have 25 real extra now. This one's good to have because, again, it heals morale. This is the one that I thought I was going to get rid of. The Motrix learning caps raised by 1. This is great. It's been doing a lot of stuff for me currently. Volition is important because the maximum is at, well, yeah, it's at 4 now, but it's good to keep that one. Better loot. Well, eventually when we open the lock container, that'll be good. And then XP for every orb clicked. So the more thoughts I have as I wander around, the more XP I get. So I think what I'll do is I'll get rid of White Morning. So let's forget. The thought will be lost forever. Okay. Well, alright. In that case, I have to think a bit more carefully about what I'm getting rid of. But again, Motrix learning caps raised by 1. I already have a fairly high cap on them anyway because I start with 4. So yeah, let's get rid of White Morning. Okay, so motorway south. Internalize it. So yeah. Okay. Let's make another save. So I have one 1156. So yes, 2306 is the one that has not been deleted. Make a save. So yeah, 2306 is the one if I want to keep that thought. I don't think I will, but yeah, so Let's go ahead. Okay, I guess I'll go all the way around the monument then. Seems a bit ridiculous, but whatever. Let's go talk to Joyce again, because we've spoken to Everard, and that would be handy. I'm just going to make a quick detour to see if Sealang has anything around here. Anything new, Sealang?
Everything's still cool. Me?
Where are you
This
from?
man
Da, da, da,
probably comes
da.
from Sea Guy, sometimes known as...
You're not a local?
Very sharp, officer. I'm Serais, from the Sigai province of the Serais Empire. The apricot suzerainty, you know?
Apricot suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Sea Guy archipelago was colonized by Revachol. It's a bit of a slur, in other words.
Isn't that name kind of insensitive?
Very cool. I admire your awareness of our intertwined histories. It's super nice of you to apologize for colonialism, but the apricot suzerainty is a shithole. That's why I left.
Right, but isn't it only a shithole because of Revachol? You're welcome, I do try to be supportive of other people and cultures. I don't know why I'm talking about this, it's some kind of mind reaction. I do try and be supportive of the peoples and cultures.
That's so cool, officer. Speaking of, why not support an independent local entrepreneur by buying some pens and glasses?
Okay, so I need to inspect what he's got for sale.
You keep
So,
coming
let's see, browse through the box.
The box smells...
back. Economical, but haven't you heard, officer?
I'll try to be
Very
economically
cool.
conscious. Nope. Okay, so there's nothing in the box. And the speakers are what, 50?
The speakers below
Yeah,
are
50
banged
for
up
those.
and worthless. The sneakers triumph over them. They're the stuff. These
So
ones...
speakers.
A small...
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers. The sneakers are the stars here.
What about the speakers though? Doesn't anyone want the speakers?
These, officer? These speakers are Samaran garbage. I'm ashamed to even use them for props. Don't waste your time on them.
Samaran trash. That sounds like they're from the Samaran People's Republic, produced under the dictatorship of the proletariat.
So
These ones-
speakers, and
No,
then
don't
4
look at-
speakers.
No, don't pity them, officer.
Samaran trash.
Yeah, same thing as before. Okay. And then there's a box over here, and this is where I got the glasses from.
The...
Rummage
those
through.
you-
These are all...
Yep. Okay. So there wasn't anything else extra. Is there anything else I could do with Sealang?
Me?
This man
Revachol.
probably comes from Sea...
Yeah, da,
Lieutenant
da, da.
Apricot suzerainty calls
Huh.
to mind an era when the Sea Guy archipelago was colonized.
I didn't mean to say that. So, same as before. Isn't it only because of Revachol it's a shithole?
If you say so, officer.
No. Okay. Yes. Oh, okay, they're the workers. Right. But again, we're not doing the waterlock just yet. We need to go and talk to Joyce. Because I'm passing over people, I figured I might as well see if they have anything new to say. Alright. Rene, Gaston, do you have anything new?
Officer! God damn it. Pull yourself together, René. What do you want?
Okay. Composure check, 5. Do I have stuff to increase composure? So composure is increased by... None of these so far. Ah, Windbreaker. And jeans. And shoes. I think that's it. Okay.
Vigilance officer? What can this
There we
soldier
go.
Benil do for
8.
you?
What is it about this old soldier that makes him stand so proud?
As Rene turns from you to his partner and back, the medals on his chest rattle and glare. He keeps his spine straight and his ribcage lifted, displaying them proudly.
How many medals are there?
2. The larger one is shaped like a cross, while the smaller medal resembles the sun.
Look at the cross.
A crowned head in front of 2 crossed rifles. The medal hangs from a blue striped triangle. It's the Croix de Bravoure, Cross of Valor. The cross was the highest battlefield decoration in Suzerain's armed forces, awarded for exceptional bravery in the line of duty, in service of King Frisel the First.
Look at the sun.
A small blue star inside an orange sun. It has the word Valiance written below. The setting sun was a decoration used to distinguish seasoned combat veterans in service of King Frisel the First during the Revolution.
Prior de Beauvoir and the setting sun, did you get them
For bravery.
That's what I was going to say, bravery. Not for killing babies, not for raping women, for bravery. That's what I was going to say, bravery.
I'm sure. But I know this uniform's reputation. You are also wondering if I got this for raping women or killing babies.
No, I really wasn't. I'm just asking. So, did you? I don't know the reputation of anything, don't even recognize the war. Sounds controversial, let's talk about something else. I don't know the reputation of anything.
Son, we should never forget our past. Lots of mistakes were made back then, but there were also lessons.
His voice takes on a tutor-like quality.
Forgetting those times means the mistakes were for nothing. That all those people died for nothing.
I do have memory loss, though.
Whoa. Sounds like you're about to open the gates of conversation. This man will literally talk your ear off if you let him wander off to memory lane.
Sure. What did you get the medals for?
For doing my duty in the heat of battle. For looking my mortality in the eye. When men like Gaston here hid in the bushes and shot themselves.
He saved some muddy princeling who foolishly strolled into the front line in his gown of velvet and gold.
Saved a princeling?
It was on the first months of the revolution here in Revachol. Unrest was spreading like wildfire. Marauders had taken most of the Couronne and were getting really ambitious. King Frisel thought he could end it all in one decisive strike. Sent his cousin, Drisson, to put an end to the unrest. Alas, the young Drisson was all piss and no vinegar, wearing a tunic of purple velvet and cockatiel feathers to battle. Even his rifle was gold-plated, shone from 5 clicks away. Can you imagine the asininity?
That is very dumb. It's one of the things that the British Empire didn't do very well, is they had bright red cloaks, which supposedly was to be able to see allies through gunpowder smoke. But when you haven't got gunpowder smoke, having bright red cloaks means you're very easy to spot.
He really despises that Drisson fellow.
Purple velvet tunic. That isn't exactly camo.
Nope.
To keep the long and bloody story short, Drisson marched us against the partisans in Couronne. And when I say marched, I mean made us walk into captured enemy territory, single file, like toy soldiers, while he rode in front on his giant red stallion.
At least he was in the front.
The rebels were smart. They let us come real close before opening fire. Suffice to say, it was carnage.
Must have been a blood bath, not bloodbath. Pretty damn clever indeed. Bastards, shake your head. I don't want to say blood path, because it should be blood bath, but I'll just say this. Shake your head.
I got shot in the left shoulder and went down. Just a flesh wound. But just as I turned over, the prince fell into the mud next to me. He was missing his lower jaw.
Does that not mean he was dead?
Then his horse, driven mad by the noise and smell of gunpowder, stepped on my leg and shattered my knee.
He pats his right thigh.
It's painful to even think about. Hang on to the story. Veterans get sentimental after such retellings. This might yield something useful.
Okay, then what did you do?
I grabbed my sidearm and shot the beast in the head. Then everything went black.
Capitaine Arnoux, le fléau des chevaux.
The bane of horses.
When I came to, it was all over. It was just me and Jolas Drisson, gurgling in the blood-soaked mud right next to me. The dink had taken numerous flesh wounds and lost a lot of blood. But despite missing his jaw, he seemed hesitant to die. Tougher than he looked, that one.
That's no dink, that's a fighter. I'd give up, can't imagine living without my jaw. This would never happen to Lonnie Lawjaw. Point to your jaw, my jaw is tight. I've been through worse. I personally could not imagine having to live without a jaw. just the concept of it means that you can't swallow, you can't chew, you can't talk, you know, that. I'm still not entirely sure how you can live an injury like that. Can't imagine living without my jaw.
He didn't. I
No.
hoisted the prick on my back and started crawling. Kept going until the 59th Cavalry picked us up. Through some miracle, we both survived. And the joyless freak convinced Rissel to give me a medal for not leaving him to die in his own blood. Piece and shit.
How did he convince him?
He was the commanding officer and I was on duty. Just doing my job. Shouldn't hand out medals for that. 13 months later, I received the Sun for distinguished service. It's not worth mentioning.
It is. You didn't have to do that.
You sense he's downplaying it. He did a lot more than his duty. More than anyone's duty. It's in his spine, in his billowing breasts, and untarnished self-worth.
Why do you despise Drisson so much? Sounds like you're being modest, Rene.
The old carabinier stands quietly like a statue, his features motionless.
What Monseigneur Modesty is not telling you is that he crawled over 7 kilometers before the cavalrymen found him and Drisant. 2 days later that was. And that even while crawling with a mangled half-dead prince on his back, he still managed to murder 3 rebels on his way.
How did he manage that?
Is that pride in his voice? It's deep down, but maybe even unbeknownst to the man himself, it's there.
Hold on, you're just a little bit proud of Rene's heroics, aren't you?
Sorry, officer, but you're reading me all wrong. I'm a man of peace, and these kinds of bloody heroics are only impressive to men like Rene himself. Certainly not to me. How did you find the story to be, officer?
Quite impressive. It's men like Rene who made Revachol great once. I'm not impressed. All those heroics, and where is he now? No, you gotta play to win. Look after you first. This doesn't seem like a good moment to express an opinion. I don't want to risk it. That is pretty impressive. Being able to carry a person missing a jaw 7 kilometers and also murder 3 people? Undeniably impressive.
Maybe, but also bear in mind, officer. They don't end this out for anyone with a service record. Oh no, you have to get shot repeatedly. And you need to get your hands bloody too. Really, really bloody.
Yes, he's a killer, I get it.
Do not speak of what you know nothing about, Poltroon. Duty is something you will never understand.
Why do you despise Drisant so much?
Because he was a goddamn dandy. Had no business leading men or even being on the battlefield. All he was related. That's it.
So why was he there in the first place? He doesn't seem like the type of person that would even want to be interested in war.
Royal blood alone doesn't make army commanders. He was a stupid kid, only interested in horses, hairstyles, and man-loving. And 782 Royal Carabiniers are dead because of his incompetence.
So nepotism is to blame.
Whoa, man-loving? Is that even a word?
According to him, it is.
It is not.
Thanks for the story, Rene.
Bah! There were many such stories in those days. Many such men, too. True Revacholians. Men with backbone.
Oh yes, Rene, yes. Men were bigger, girls were prettier, and everyone wore the fascia. Lord, please bring those days back, if you can.
I'm not getting into this with you again. Officer, was there anything else?
You should try to come up with a heroic story of your own. Impress this old soldier.
Ooh, drama. Legendary 14. Rene told you his war story, now impress him with your heroics. This is a red check. Okay, so my drama needs to be very high to be able to do this one. So we're going to leave that be. I don't suppose Gaston has anything separate to Rene?
Such a pleasure to see you again, officer. How may I
Convince
help the
Gaston to
citizens
relinquish the
militia
sandwich.
on this fine day?
Let's put clothes back on, because I did take stuff off and switch them around. Do I have anything for rhetoric? I think I found out I didn't. Yes, takes away rhetoric. And I think that's about it. Yeah? Yeah. Alright, so shoes, pants, cloak. I think that's it. Yeah. Alright. Let's make a save and then try the sandwich, and then I'm probably going to level up rhetoric anyway, so we'll see if that makes a difference.
It is such a pleasure.
Convince!
Alright, this is how we're gonna do it.
I admire your handiwork, chef, but there are a few things I do differently.
Like what, officer? This is as good as they come in Revachol, I assure you.
We'll see about that.
An array of delicious recipes flashes through your mind. Salads, salmon, sandwiches, bingo. This calls for an engineering angle. Structural rigidity, exposed rafters, lattice works, that type of approach.
Okay, so it depends on how much detail I want to be into it. And interfacing thinks that I want to get detail. So, the bread you built this wonder on could have been toasted beforehand. Had you put a large slice of Olduvayan cheese crosswise from the ham, it would minimize the component loss via crumbling. Interface is telling me to do it this way, so let's do it this way.
Mon Dieu, that is an excellent idea. That would virtually negate the component loss.
Yeah, so he's responding to it. Alright, thanks, interfacing.
Beautiful. Now bring it home with paprika.
I'll do you one better. The air pocket between cheese and ham could house pre-roasted paprika.
Ce serait délicieux. Can you make that sandwich, officer?
Sure, but I'm going to need yours as a prototype first. No, no one can. Gaze at the distance, slowly shaking your head. I'm going to need yours first.
I hope you are not just tricking an old man out of the little he has left.
Initial development takes time, of course, but in 6 to 9 months you will eat the sandwich of the gods. I win? Don't worry about it. Give him a wink. Sure, in 9 months you'll eat the sandwich of the gods.
Oh, god of sandwiches, maybe? But in the meanwhile, what can I do for you here and now, officer?
Bye for now. We got a sandwich from an old man. How very interesting. Interactable, okay. This might be the biggest sandwich you have ever seen. The size is almost intimidating, invoking feelings of inadequacy. Abundant in components, rich in both smell and taste, probably, this truly is the work of a master craftsman. I assume if I were to interact with it, I would just eat it. So I'm going to make sure I don't do that in front of his. So we'll go back to Joyce. We'll save before Joyce. We'll give her the lowdown from Everard. And then I might see what the sandwich does. Just to see. Because I can always reload the save. Alright, so talking to Joyce. Save. Remember, the thought internalized is 2306. The thought that was forgotten. Joyce!
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
I talked to Everard.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
Not at all.
Finally, time to choose sides.
I didn't. He's a beautiful man, beautiful and just. Everard Clare is a hero of the workers' movement. He is the champion I've sworn fealty to. He's a bloated rainbow socialist. I can do business with him. For a socialist, he's reasonable. He's not the champion I've chosen. I wish to swear fealty to you and the cause of capital. I have the feeling the international community does not approve of him. It's not important if I liked him. I was doing my job. So, I didn't is one. I have a feeling the international community does not approve of him. Let's go with this.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually...
She answers her own question.
Corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic. Verm-like. Corruption. Reaching into the bowels of the earth.
I mean, that's kind of obvious, isn't it? She looks at the ground and nods.
The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand. The RCM does not pick sides.
I didn't really pick a side.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt verm myself. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
I don't like the fact that she's smiling about it.
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things. Tell her she'll like you for it.
Mr. Everart's helping me find my gun. I helped him turn up the heat on the bush. I'd rather take sort of some. I guess he's helping me find the gun?
Oh. That's so helpful of him.
Her eyes become large and
The
round.
lieutenant looks at you, and you can swear his jaw muscle is trembling.
Ooh, he didn't like that at all.
He's able to contain the anger and surprise.
Unconventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go around and tell people about this, to gauge their reactions. It's all part of detecting.
Playing it cool, alright. Fair enough, Kim.
Incredible. Simply incredible. And how is it going? Has this detecting produced a gun?
No, Mr. Everart says it's almost ready to be found soon. Mr. Everart's helping me find my gun. So repeat the same thing I just said. It's almost ready to be found soon.
Did he now? Well, then it should be any day now. Unless, of course, he's lying to you. Anyway, was there anything else you've heard?
I would assume everything he said to me is a lie.
Perhaps he is.
I helped him turn up the heat on the borscht.
Did you now? What sort of borscht is he making?
The cook makes it to keep the strikers drunk. It helps them strike.
The strike brew. That's a classic. And by turn up the heat, I presume you mean put more alcohol in it?
Yes.
Why, if I may ask, why make them more drunk? Aren't they corked enough already?
Getting people more drunker makes them more pliable.
Yes, Detective. What were you hoping to accomplish with this strange thing?
An act born of sympathy for the working man, I set fire to the fumes of struggle. I worship Al Ghul in many ways. It's uninteresting. I thought it'd make the broth taste better. Again, this is the sitting on the fence answer, so I'm going to do this one. Set fire to the fumes of struggle.
Very curious. A very curious thing to do.
I wonder if that's the left-wing dialogue option that's giving me XP.
Truly. But that's how he operates. He just does things, man. And then talks about them, even if it's inappropriate.
Yeah, well, in the game, I've got to have as much information as I can.
What else?
Something else.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later, down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
Nope, that's it. Okay, so we've got a couple of XP. Let's make a save before we have a giant sandwich interacting. So it is sandwich
The ham
time.
sandwich looks fresh and nutritious in your hand, begging to be eaten.
They're back, everyone. It's going to get messy. Eat the sandwich. Here, Kim, let's share. Hold out the sandwich. I cannot be bought. Throw the sandwich on the ground. Put it away. It's a giant sandwich. Let's share it.
I'll pass. Thanks.
What do you mean you'll pass?
I mean, I'm not hungry, and therefore am not gonna take it. Thanks, though.
This isn't about hunger, Kim. It's about camaraderie.
Camaraderie?
Yes, by sharing the sandwich, you and I solidify the bond between us.
Is it really necessary?
It really is? Is this necessary? Is friendship necessary? Is brotherhood? I just thought it would be a nice gesture. I'm sorry. No, you're right. Let's just drop it. Is friendship necessary? Is brotherhood? Yeah, I like the second option the best.
Okay. They are all necessary. Let's share the sandwich if it matters that much to you.
This is good shit. Eat your half of the sandwich. Friends forever. Eat your half of the sandwich. Eat your half in silence. Let's say friends forever, because it's a bit weird saying it's good shit, and it's a bit weird eating it in silence. So, friends forever.
Sure. Time to go solve a murder investigation.
And I healed some health. Cool. Alright, well that will do it for today, I think. We've made quite a bit of progress in the interrogation with Everett and going back to Joyce and so on. It is always worth talking to people as we pass them by, it seems like, because new things, like the game says, there are hidden modifiers on skill checks. So, you know, you talk to someone else, you go back to the original person, and then you might find something new. But like I said, that will do it for today. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, you can watch us live at twitch.tv/RiggyRob. We usually stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at around about 8 PM UK time. So feel free to join in and give me some hints and tips and, you know, ideas and guidance and advice about what to do. Letting me know if there is anything I should be especially aware of would be very handy as well. Just because, like, the issue of day 2 not being able to progress because I didn't have money is something that I could not have foreseen. So, yeah, avoiding stuff like that would be very helpful. As always, this will go up onto YouTube at some point. Again, that's quite a big backlog of stuff to go up onto YouTube, but it will be up there at some point, and that's at youtube.com/RiggyRobPimsyPlay. We've also got Twitter, TikTok, Discord, and everything, and that will tell you when we go live. So, yeah, thanks for watching the stream, guys, and I'll see you all next time.